This was supposed to be a relaxing cycling weekend in the Alps. Instead, we ended up on remote gravel roads along the German-Austrian border, discovered one of the strangest churches I've ever seen, climbed the road hitting 15%, and finished in a violent storm with me racing back to the car alone. And somehow, there was also time for swimming in 2 Alpine lakes. But the real reason for this trip was much simpler. For the first time in almost 8 years, my wife and I were going on a cycling tour without the girls, just the two of us.
We started touring Tegernsee and we are gonna do basically all the lakes. Back there is the Tegernsee. We passed the Tegernsee and now we are gonna move on to Schliersee. Let's count how many lakes we're gonna do this weekend. Crossing now from the Tegernsee to the Schliersee on this very nice path along the river. We crossed over to the Schliersee, which is behind there. I don't know if you see a little bit of blue. Now we continue on the west side of the lake. And now we reach the Schliersee here behind me. Absolutely beautiful. And now leaving the Schliersee, going through the Spitzingsee, we'll stop for lunch. For lunch we landed in German-Austrian, which is a funny place. It's all Italian vibe made kind of thing, but the owner has nothing to do with Italy. They just use it for load on the land. Decent lunch in the La Stazione restaurant, and now we go for the Spitzingsee. In the Schliersee and the Spitzingsee there is a small saddle with about 350 meter of elevation gain. We just passed this small pass which is called Spitzingsee, and now we go to the Spitzingsee and Valepp, which is absolutely a beautiful area after the Spitzingsee. Here behind is the Spitzingsee. Last time I came was last winter when it was full of snow, and I did a video and it looks very different. I think even more charming during winter than now. Here we are almost in Valepp. We get a little bit of rain. Maybe we stop for some cake and something to drink, and then we continue. This is really a fantastic valley. I remember the first time that I came, I was so impressed. It was a place so wild, very close to the very touristic lakes. And now at the Valepp Wirtshaus, and the idea was to go to the Tegernsee, but there is no hotel in the next 80 kilometers in that direction, so we are going to go in the other direction toward Austria and Kufstein. Walk down to the chapel, the small chapel. It was visible from the restaurant, and it's not possible to enter, but I see that there is a viewing platform into the gorge underneath, but there is also a waterfall, so I'm gonna check it very quickly. We are right on the border with Austria, and this way is absolutely fantastic. It's an easy gravel road. Also for my wife, I think it should be okay. And the barrier back there signs the border between Germany and Austria. Right now we are in Austria. Absolutely fantastic gravel road with nobody around, of course, but also the scenery is really top. And now we go toward Kufstein, and I'm not sure if there is a pass. I think I saw on the Google profile for this road that there was a point at 1,300 something meters. Now we are already going downhill. I'm curious to see if there's going to be again a climb up. Here's the climb. I think we are now at 1,100 meters. I think climbs still a couple, maybe 200-300 more meters. I'm now at 1,300 meters, and I think this is the top of the climb, if I'm not mistaken. Now there should be a Alm, a mountain hotel, and then the road should go downhill all the way to Kufstein. Here's the Bergasthof Ackern at 1,350 meters, and in front of me there is a long descent. And I took a walk around this pass, and there's this small chapel that looks like painted with the backdrop of the mountains. The dog keeps following me. Oh, I saw it running down the mountain. On the way up, my wife was faster than me. Let's see on the way down. I think I'm gonna be faster. That back there is the Hintersee, and it is about 7-8 km now to Kufstein. I arrived in Kufstein, where we stayed for the night in the Hotel Platzhirsch. We took the suite.
from the executive suite of the Platzhirsche. We started second day in the pretty central street of Kufstein. We're not going to visit the whole castle and church because we've been here a few times already. So we make our way toward the Inn Valley up to the road that then goes up to the Achensee. And while my wife gets ready, I'm walking around a little bit of Kufstein, and this is probably the prettiest street in the village. We now got out of town. That's the castle of Kufstein, and we continue along the Inn, that's the name of this river. This one here is the church of Mariastein. I'm not sure if it's open, but it is one of the few highlights along the Inn Valley, at least the part that we are gonna do. Entering the courtyard of the church, it was like this mess that was done outside. These are the stairs, I think, that goes to the church. Pretty strange from the courtyard. It was given that this was the entrance to the church, but you actually get into this tower, I think. But there are signs of a chapel. And this psychedelic altar was not expected. I don't know from the video, but these are glass spheres. And I think there is light inside. Pretty crazy place. I've seen already 3 chapels on this high tower. This is the third one, and they're all a bit special the way they are made. And here should be pretty much the last floor of this high tower, and the actual church, it's here. We're now Mariastein, one of the surprise highlights of the weekend so far. Now we continue along the Inn Valley. I think the next stop are going to be a couple of lakes where, if we want, we could have a bet. Some very idyllic Tyrolean farmer houses here. This back there is the Reintaler See. I think it's the best lake to go swimming along the way. Based on information I find online, the water temperature should be 25.5 degrees Celsius. It's warmer than the Adriatic Sea. Passing now Münster, and now it starts in a little while the climb up to the Achensee, which is not much, just I think 400 meters or maybe 500. But it's really hot, it's over 30 degrees today. I'm now at 850 meters, so there are a bit 100 more to go. And to go up to the Achensee, there is the larger cars road, and then this will go straight up to the lake, and it is about 10% average gradient. Made it to the top. The last kilometer was I guess at 15%. Duly went swimming here in the Achensee, much colder than the other one. The other one was almost 26 degrees. This has to be below 20, I think. And now we drive along the east side of the Achensee, which I did just a couple of weeks ago when I climbed up the mountain back there. Here's this fantastic east side of the lake. I've done it a couple of weeks ago in the other direction, but also in this one it's really cool. From the street I saw this Way of the Cross. It looks really cool, the church. It's not visible from this angle, but it is kind of on the slope. It's not straight. I'm quite close to the border. I'm still in Austria, but I think the border is about 4 or 5 km from here. And then we're again in Germany. Just goes the border and it's pretty dark in front of me. It's gonna come down, I think. Incredibly dark. It seems like 9 p.m, but it's just 5:30. And try to escape the rain, which I think is behind me, because in front of me there is a bit of light clouds, not dark clouds. From the Aachen Pass, the thunderstorm has been chasing me, so there was a bit of downhill, strong wind, backwind, and I've been doing, I think, the last 10k at about over 50 kilometers per hour average, brutally pushing. My wife just wrote me because we separated back when I had to eat something. My wife is way back there, and she said she found the roof that the thunderstorm came down. I'm pushing it as much as possible because I have to make it to the car. And the thunderstorm caught me, but there is no way to take a break. I need to push it to the car. There is no option. I got to the Tegernsee, which is next to me here.
in the middle of the thunderstorm. I think I'm about 10k to the car. I cannot stop. I need now to check on the navigation system how far I am, because I cannot even, with all this rain, I cannot even keep my phone out. Wow, there are years that I didn't end up under so much rain. I stop here under a bus stop just to check how far it is. Hallelujah! Here's the car. I made it here. Now I need to recover my wife. There was so much traffic on the way. It will take ages to go there and then come back. But the important thing is everybody's safe. I think this is the last part of the video. I hope you enjoyed it despite the ending. See you next time. Here's today we got even the rainbow with complete circle. And there are even two. I don't know if they are visible on the camera.